All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're talking about the Minnesota Vikings because I just feel like the 12-7 victory this past Sunday against Jacksonville, it got ridiculed a lot because it was really ugly. They just accomplished a feat that has not been done in 24 years. They won an NFL game while throwing 3 interceptions and having no touchdowns. That hasn't been done since the year 2000. NFL teams are actually 2 in 101 in such games since the year 2000. And the craziest part is, and like you watch that game, and Minnesota's clearly the better team, is they really didn't have much business scoring 12 points and winning that football game, throwing 3 picks. And they're obviously not the best team in the NFL, but they weren't supposed to be, right? And this win got ridiculed so much, whether it was by fans or NFL media or what have you. And I just see all these comments or all these tweets saying, oh, well, Minnesota's just an average football team. And I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, well, they were supposed to be worse than average. This is a 7-2 team. Do you not believe anymore anything is possible heading into, like, the Vikings have a 90% chance to make the playoffs? By the way, you're 7-2. They've had the 6th hardest schedule to date, and their remaining games are only the 21st hardest schedule. So Minnesota's going to win somewhere between 10, 11, maybe 12 football games, something along those lines, and they're going to be in the playoffs. And to me, all of the issues offensively that we saw in the, like, for example, we'll get into it, but Sam Darnold started 5 interceptions the last 2 games. At the midway point, this is a really good time for Kevin O'Connell to dial up some stuff. We're going to talk about it, but before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Vikings fans, love you guys as always. We post a ton of Vikings content on this channel. If you're looking for more consistent Vikings videos, check the comment section. I got a Vikings channel. But let's hit the like button. Let's try and get this one to 250 likes. Let's get into it, all right? So on Sunday, the Vikings defense had 8 tackles for loss. It's been one of the best defenses in the National Football League. And, Brian Flores certainly knows what he's doing. But when you have a team getting rid of, some of the best players in the NFL and Daniel Hunter in the offseason, some question marks arise, but not in the sense of, oh, what's Brian Flores doing? What's, the GM doing? What are the Vikings doing? It was more so, all right, you went with Gernard, you picked up Van Ginkel, you pick up Blake Cashman, you draft Dallas Turner. Long term, it's good. These players are still good, but they're like a top 7 defense in the NFL right now. And on Sunday, the Vikings defense had 8 tackles for loss. They had 4 quarterback hits. They had 3 sacks. They made Mac Cheddar Cheese Jones run for his life. He completed just 6 passes in the second half. He threw 2 interceptions. And just kind of going back to what we said on Sunday, the Vikings dominated this football game. They won the time of possession battle for 42 minutes, the highest total of any offense in a game this season. They had 28 first downs, one of the Vikings' highest marks of the season. They also ran the ball 43 times, which is something we don't see Kevin O'Connell do too much. And the Vikings reached Jaguars territory in 8 of their 10 possessions. They had 5 red zone chances, and they walk away with only 12 points. And it's crazy because John Parker Romo, in his NFL debut, drills 4 straight field goals. And it's just, that was such a funny win because Sam Darnold threw 3 interceptions. And the Jaguars defense is notoriously bad for this season. He had a passer rating of 48.2. He's 21st in EPA per dropback. He was 11th after the 4-0 start to this season. And second halves have been a huge concern. So let's zoom back. Let's rewind the clock here for a little bit. Week 1, take down the Giants. Darnold plays great. All right, it's week 1. Week 2, win. Darnold plays great. All right, let's see it longer. 4 games go by. Minnesota's sitting here at 4-0. Sam Darnold's an MVP candidate. He's like a leading MVP candidate. And people are thinking, all right, how long is this sustainable? And now we're starting to see a little bit of a break in the system. Sam Darnold has now turned the ball over 13 times. 10 of them are interceptions. 3 of them are fumbles in only 9 games. And that's more than any other quarterback in the NFL. Some qualified quarterbacks who are averaging a higher turnover rate per touch would be Mason Rudolph, Jordan Love, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Gardner Minshew. So it's not been great. The only 3 teams with more turnovers than the Vikings this season, the Indianapolis Colts, the Tennessee Titans, and the Las Vegas Raiders, and those are a combined 8 and 19. So that's the biggest thing. We're going to talk about what the Jaguars did to beat Sam Darnold in just a second, because there's this player named TJ Hawkinson that I think can fix this for the foreseeable future. But, just going back to Darnold's career arc, that's why people are concerned. And I just saw an article before I made this video saying, like, what's Sam Darnold's future in Minnesota? And I'm like, well, wouldn't my rookie quarterback be my future that I drafted that, tore his meniscus and is injured for the entire season? I think he's the future. So Sam Darnold was supposed to be a bridge. Whether or not he's a starting quarterback for Minnesota, we'll deal with that when it comes. But in college at USC, Sam Darnold turned the ball over 36 times in only 27 football games. In his first 5 NFL seasons with the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers, he's thrown 55 interceptions in 55 starts. So if you can play turnover-free football like we saw in the first couple of weeks for Minnesota, or Darnold can play turnover-free football, you're going to win a lot of football games, and that's why you're 7-2 right now. But in the last 2 weeks against the Colts, against the Jaguars, we have seen that leak just a little bit. And one big thing is how the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to defend this Vikings offense. So they played a higher percentage. By the way, I got this from Alec Lewis over on The Athletic. Go give him a check. He is the best Vikings writer. Sorry. Don't mean that to be rude. It sounded rude. Anyways, the Jaguars played a higher percentage of 2 safety coverage against the Vikings pass plays at 93% than any other team in the NFL has played since 2018. All right. They also had one of the lowest blitz rates in a game this season. And so pretty much what they're doing is, someone can beat us today, but his name's certainly not going to be Justin Jefferson. And it worked. JJ only had 5 catches for 48 yards, which is pretty decent for a wide receiver, but it's, Justin Jefferson. So how can you fix this moving forward? It kind of reminds me almost of Revis Island, where Belichick and the Patriots defense would put Revis on an island against wide receiver 1, and they would just game plan for wide receiver 2. And so the biggest thing with the Vikings offense isn't concerns for Sam Darnold. It's not concerns for Aaron Jones' health. It's the amount of versatile talent they have. You have Sam Darnold. You have Aaron Jones. You got a couple of running backs. You got Jordan Addison, and you got Justin Jefferson. But the huge cog that's been missing is TJ Hawkinson. And TJ Hawkinson in his his second game back of the season, 85.5 PFF grade, third amongst all tight ends, 8 catches, 72 yards, 6 first downs. I think 4 of those were on the first opening drive for the Vikings. He's a quarterback's best friend. This is a guy who, if he played 17 regular season games, would have, 90 catches for a little over 1,000 yards. And you bring him onto this offense, I'm telling you, man, if that's how Jacksonville and teams want to cover the Minnesota Vikings, TJ Hawkinson is going to make you pay. All right. That's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Check out my Vikings channel in the comment section. That's all I got. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. But folks, 9 games in, sitting here at 7-2. Give me a team grade rating at midseason for this Vikings team. We'll see you soon.